Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's going on? Welcome to another 1 nil show. I know it's been a little while since we've had a 1 nil show. There's plenty of 1 nil FC games going up, but the Premier League is back. It's flying. So when I can, I'm going to keep on bringing you those 1 nil shows. If you haven't seen me, though, on the Ultra Sud podcast Fridays afternoons, you can check it out on the Ultra Football channel. But we're here at 1 nil, the 1 nil show where the magic happens. Liverpool. Let's go talk about you. Man United back. Rashford's back. 21 is coming. Plenty of football to get on the way. And we're also in a new setting because I'm in a different house. And it kind of looks like I'm in prison with the concrete wall, but don't worry. We all love to see what is going on the 1 nil channel. Now, Fruity's 5, we'll kick it off. Fruity's 5, if you are new, make sure to like, subscribe as well if you do enjoy it. Tell your friends, tell people to watch your video and get around it. So Fruity's 5, Erling Haaland will comfortably beat Salah's 32 goals in a season record. I think Haaland is on for an absolute crazy season. Now, people came in and people were saying that, no, Haaland's not going to perform that well. It's going to take him a while to get used to the Premier League. You know, he's used to a slower pace. He's not as physical. Mate, Haaland has said, hey, turn around and shut up because you can go the other way. Erling Haaland, back-to-back hat-tricks. People are saying, oh, he's only scoring tap-ins. Guess what? You're a striker. Your main goal is to be in the right position at the right time, and that's exactly what he's doing. This week will be an interesting one, though, when they come up against Tottenham, a defensively a better team than a lot of the other teams that Erling Haaland's played against. But Erling Haaland is going to comfortably beat the Mohamed Salah record, and I think he's going to be on an absolute mission this season to score goals for fun. We've already seen him do it now, but can we see him do it against that top defensive team? I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference. You look at Man City. If Man City or if any other player or club let someone like Gabriel Jesus just walk out the door, it'd be a huge thing. Gabriel Jesus has just left Man City. Man City do not care one little bit because Erling Haaland has come in and is making a mockery so far of that number 9 position because he's saying that I'm the only one that's got this spot and no one else will take it from me. So huge stuff by Erling Haaland. Number 2, I got VAR is doing more harm than good. Now, VAR, it's always a topic of discussion that comes up every time we talk about football now, it feels like. And I don't think I'd remember a time like last weekend where it was such an important factor in so many games. Now, you look at the West Ham-Chelsea game, Declan Rice was furious on Twitter the next day. How that was a foul on Mendy, I've got no idea. How you can go and look at it at a screen again and then convince yourself that that's a free kick as well. I just don't. Is there a new set of rules that we haven't seen as fans that the referees and the officials have seen? Is there a new set of rules that, okay, this contact here or a contact like this is a paid free kick? Because fans, I think, just don't know what's going on anymore. How that Mendy that challenge is a free kick and then not giving the goal to West Ham, I don't believe it. We saw that free kick as well for Manchester United, stopping Martinelli's first goal for Arsenal on the weekend. Eriksen got a free kick up the field before in the passage of play. Martinelli's goal wasn't counted. And I think that one was a little bit more lenient. Like, I think you can see it. I think soft free kick, soft penalty, but it was there. This one on Mendy, I don't believe, it just confuses me so much. You have Connor Cody. Now there's new angles that are coming out on the Connor Cody goal where people say, well, it clearly looks onside here. So what's the go? What's the go, Mr. Mo? It's very interesting stuff. And the VAR, do you like it? Do you not? Is it hot? Is it not? Let me know down in the comments below. I like it if it's used right. And I don't think the VAR should stop referees from refereeing the game. Because if that's the case, well, then why do we have referees there? I think it should purely just be used for that decision where the referee isn't 100% sure whether there was a penalty or a free kick in the build-up. Then we can go to the video assistance referee. Let us hear what the assistant referees are talking about so that we then understand the reasoning behind the decision. And I think that will show a big improvement in what VAR and how VAR can be used. But as of now, if we keep on using it how we are doing it right now, then it's just going to be the same thing over and over again. Now, continuing up to my third thing from Fruity's 5 from the weekend, I think Leicester City need a fresh change. I think Brendan Rodgers, possibly along with Steven Gerrard, are the two coaches in the most hot positions right now. They're in the hot seat. I think Brendan Rodgers getting booed, I know, on the other weekend against Manchester United when they finished that game. Not again that I think Leicester fans will expect to win, but it's just a 5th loss in a row for Leicester. And I think Brendan Rodgers finds himself in a little bit of trouble this season, and I think it's necessary for both parties. I think both parties need that change. I think Brendan Rodgers himself has probably done what he can do at Leicester, and I think Leicester needs someone to come in, fresh breath of air, Jamie Vardy's time's got to run out soon. They've lost Fofana. Tielemans and Madison, it feels like they're almost playing for a transfer, playing for someone to come up and pinch them. I think their time's about to come, and I think Leicester could be in a serious issue this season as well. Going to the other end of the spectrum now, Old Trafford is absolutely buzzing. Manchester United had an unbelievable 3-1 win against Arsenal. And Arsenal fans are here saying, you didn't deserve to win. Arsenal dominated. Arsenal played very well. And it wasn't a 3-1 loss that we're getting used to seeing from Arsenal. It was a 3-1 loss where United were clinical, stuck to our game plan, and at the end of the day, we did it when it mattered the most. Arsenal, you see 3-1, you go, wow, they must have played terrible. You got Arsenal fan TV, Troops is calling for Arteta out, all that sort of stuff. I think that'd be unfair to say Arsenal were terrible, because they weren't. They had a lot of the ball, they had a large majority of the ball. They were really, really on top of United for a lot of the game. This new United team that we're seeing, though, know their roles, and defensively are strong. I'm not sure if I like the Ben White at right back for Arsenal. I know Saliba and Gabriel are great, and I know Saliba's come in this season. He's doing absolute wonders. I don't think Ben White is a right back. I know he's great on the ball and he can play those through balls, which I know why is probably the reason why Arteta has him there. But again, I will not put him right back. I just think, Sancho along Anthony, who was first game and he scored a goal. He didn't really do that much, but first game scores a goal. What more do you want from a new signing in an attacking position? So good. So good to see Marcus Rashford back up and firing. He's 2 goals away from equaling how many goals he scored last season. I think Rashford through the middle with Sancho on the left and Anthony out wide just highlights how Ten Hag wants to play with Eriksen in midfield. And I'm going to go out and say Eriksen so far is by far the signing of the season. I know it's 5 games, but we got him for free. He's revolutionised our midfield. We haven't had a passer of the ball like that in midfield since Paul Scholes. Okay, would I love to see him higher up the pitch? Yes, 100%. I don't think we have the luxury to do that just yet, and I don't think Bruno's as good deeper. But Christian Eriksen so far has been instrumental in so many of our wins and so many of our performances where people will look at and say, hey, they played well. A lot of that comes down to Christian Eriksen. So Christian Eriksen, and then you take away all the stuff that he had last year. It's an unbelievable effort for Christian Eriksen to be where he is right now. Now, number 5, and the last thing for Fruity's 5 before we get into the chunk of this week's video, the topic point where Liverpool fans are going to start to come at me again. Graham Potter deserves his praise. Graham Potter, I tell you what, he's got Brighton in the top 4 right now, and again, very early days. 5 goals they scored on the week, and they lost Cucurella. Okay, they're losing play. They lost Ben White all those years ago. They're losing players. Who was the other Brighton player that they just lost? Basuma. They lost Basuma as well. And not many teams in that Brighton situation outside that top 6 sort of club where you can just go spend another 80 million and sign another midfielder. Not many teams are able to rebound that quickly and just sweep it under the carpet like what Brighton have done and are doing. Now, Graham Potter's got it. People are saying Gerrard, Lampard, New England coach, all that sort of stuff. Just people are saying Gerrard and Lampard purely just because they're these golden boys of the England generation. Could be the next England manager in years to come. All that sort of stuff. Graham Potter right now, who would you put in front of him? Klopp, yes. Pep Guardiola, yes. Is it too early to call Ten Hag a better manager in the Premier League than Graham Potter? Probably. Would you put Arteta higher than Graham Potter? I don't know. I think Graham Potter's really, really putting his hand up there to at least the top 4 managers in the Premier League. And I think it's only a matter of time before a big club does try to come in and get him. Which of those managers at those big clubs are going to be the first to get rid of a manager? Chelsea Football Club. Graham Potter, does he go to Chelsea? Chelsea fans, would you take a Graham Potter? You'd be silly not to, because what he's done, I think, is incredible. And Brighton, I think every year that team at the start of the season, when people go, Brighton, now's the time that they'll kind of finish a little bit, whatever. Hey, they're doing really, really well with the players they have as well. Graham Potter, credit where credit's due. Well done, my friend. Now, Liverpool, let's talk about Liverpool. What's the go with Liverpool? Now, Klopp doesn't seem himself, and Liverpool don't seem themselves. They're not playing well. Yes, they might be getting results, but they're not playing that great. And it's not the Liverpool that we're used to seeing. It's not this high intensity, high press Liverpool team. It's a little bit more of a slow, drastic sort of. Salah doesn't feel as into it. Now, why is this? Why is this the case? Liverpool, Gabriel Bonner Hall came out and said that Liverpool are already done for the title race. I'm not saying that. I think City and Liverpool as the top two is still a given. Right? Teams are performing better. Man United's up there, Arsenal's up there, Tottenham are obviously getting better. Liverpool and City as the top two, I think, are still set in stone. I think City wins the league. I don't think Liverpool will win the league, but we know that what Liverpool are like. And I know I maybe got you with the title, Liverpool fans, but I'm not going to come out and fully hate on you. But I do think it's maybe time to have a little bit of just a look back and reflect back on why maybe you guys are facing this situation. Defense, I don't think it's as strong as what we've seen it. Joe Gomez, I think we're starting to see the value of not playing consistent football, and Joe Gomez maybe looks a little bit off the pace purely because he hasn't played that much football the last couple of years. Obviously, Liverpool have got one of the best defences in the league in the last 3, 4, 5 years. Because of that, Joe Gomez got shifted out, and now we're seeing that with Matip injured and Konate injured, Gomez has had to come in, and he doesn't look that strong. Virgil van Dijk hasn't been at his best. I don't care what people say. Ever since that knee injury, Virgil van Dijk has not looked the same. Now, no, he doesn't look bad. Does he look poor? No, but he doesn't look as threatening as what he usually does. He doesn't look as much of a powerhouse as what Virgil van Dijk always seems to be. Trent, we know. Robbo, we know. They can go up on the attack or they like down back. Who knows? Robbo's had a couple of injuries here and there. Tsimikas comes in. I think Robbo's miles ahead of Tsimikas at left back. So there's the defensive issues. Then you look at the midfield, and I spoke about this on the Ultra Sud podcast on Ultra Football, which you can go check out. Tell them that you came from 1 0. There's just not much in there. I think Milner is finished. I think the days of playing Milner in that midfield is done. I think it's finished. I think he's got to realise, okay, maybe my time here is done. They've got the youngsters like Fabio Carvalho and all that, and Harvey Elliott, who are good young players. Can they do it on a consistent level? Well, I think that's what Liverpool fans are starting to see, that maybe they can't, to the ability that they can. Henderson has had a shocker of a season in my eyes. I don't think he's started the season off as well as he wants. Now they've come out and signed Arthur, and Arthur to me just screams of a desperate signing. Something that is not a Klopp signing, personally, in my eyes, in a million years. Arthur is one, okay, yeah, he's played at Barcelona, he's played at Juventus. He hasn't done much at either of those clubs. And he's often one of those that are the first to get shifted out when they need to shift someone out, which says something to me personally. Now, how will he be? I don't know. Yes, injuries are a factor, but guess what? Injuries happen to every single team. And if you're a Liverpool Football Club, and it's something that I've harped on for so long in regards to Liverpool's transfer windows and their transfer procedures, do you have enough depth? Man United, that was their problem last year and the last couple of years. It was Arsenal's problem. I think Chelsea are starting to realise that that's their case as well, because these depth players aren't really performing as well as what they would like. And I know it's a thing of, well, then when you're at the top of the table, like Liverpool have been, the players that are on the brink, like a Divock Origi, end up leaving because they know they're good enough to get proper and full game time elsewhere. Is their depth good enough? Maybe it's that case of Liverpool have to realise, okay, well, the replacements that we're getting aren't as strong. But they're still good. Harvey Elliott's still an unbelievable football player. But can we compare him to Thiago? Can we compare him to a Bobby Firmino in his prime? I'm not sure. Bobby Firmino, on the other hand, extremely stiff to get dropped. I know against Man United he did nothing, forgot he was even playing, but then he did well the week after, and he gets dropped for Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez, terrible. Joke. I know Liverpool, I hate you, but at the same time, I'm going to try to be fair, and someone's going to say it, because I don't think Liverpool fans like to say it. Darwin Núñez as well. Now, defensively not as strong. Luis Diaz, I don't think he's stepped up as that Mane replacement just yet. I think it shows how important Sadio Mane was, and is that one of the big reasons why Liverpool aren't performing that well this season? Sadio Mane, are we realising how important he was? Are we realising that it was Salah and Mane, not just Salah or not just Mane? It was the both of them collectively together. So I think Liverpool, they'll be fine. I still think they'll make top two. But there is times, I think if you want to play Liverpool, I think go for it. Like, literally, now's your time to play against Liverpool, because Klopp is just a sook. Klopp will whinge about anything. And now you play against Liverpool, I think you can really take it to them and really get some points. Man United have got 4 wins in a row now. 2 of those wins are against Liverpool, Arsenal, and I think the Southampton win will go underappreciated by fans, because you look at how Southampton are playing, and you're looking at Chelsea the other week. They didn't get a result against Southampton. Liverpool could find themselves in a similar situation where they're dropping points here and there, and in the long run, could ultimately cost them. City, though, did drop points again, obviously on the weekend to Aston Villa, so there's that aspect in it as well. But plenty of stuff for Liverpool fans to think about. I'm not panicking for Liverpool as much as what I think some other people and some other media outlets are claiming that they should be. But I think Liverpool will be just fine. But there's a couple of little points that I think we should just really, really tune in on before we go, nah, they're fine. I think there's some little tiny holes that need to be covered up and worked on very quickly, just in case it becomes a little bit bigger of the situation than what it should be. Now, huge week of Premier League football. Like, again, if you've got to this point, please make sure to like, subscribe, do that business. Huge week of Premier League football coming on this weekend. We've got 3 big games, but huge weekend of football. We're going to start off with Man City versus Tottenham. Now, Man City, we know how good they are. Kevin De Bruyne, we know how good he is. And Erling Haaland, I spoke about previously at the start of the show, how great of a striker this guy is. And he's getting in the right spots at the right time. And he's so hungry for goals that it is not funny. He comes up against the Tottenham team now, who have been good. They haven't been great. They haven't been unbelievable. They've been solid. I think Heung-min Son, I think I might have actually said that Heung-min Son was going to be one of those players that we're going to have a huge season this year and even win a couple of awards. But Heung-min Son so far is struggling. Just can't score a goal to save his life, really. But I think Tottenham, they'll put up a fight against City. I think City will win this one 2-1. I think City will get away with a win. Honestly, Erling Haaland might score another double. And he's just such a threat. It's unbelievable to see. He's just walked straight into the league. And they say don't compare the golden boys, whatever, Erling Haaland or Kylian Mbappe. I tell you who I'm taking in the other week. Mbappe's dating someone, whatever. Erling Haaland might go. And I hate to say it because I'm a Man United fan, but I enjoy watching him so much purely because he's just so big. He's such a threat. It's crazy to see. Now, next up, we've got Liverpool versus Wolves, and Wolves again, one of these teams. Wolves, better sign Diego Costa. Diego Costa is about to go on a trial with Wolverhampton Wanderers. Are you excited to see Diego Costa come in? Adds a little bit more of a grit to the Premier League and to Wolves as a team. Does he really fit that team? I'm not too sure. How much football will he play? I'm not too sure. And Raul Jimenez might lose another eye if Diego Costa comes in. Is that too close? I'm not sure. But Diego Costa will be very interesting to see. I think Liverpool will win this one 2-0. I think they'll win it 2-0. Keep a clean sheet, something that they haven't really done too often so far this season, and I think something that's important for them to do as the games go on, because defensively, as I said, don't think they're as strong as what they usually have been. Mo Salah, what's he going to do? Is he going to perform? Wolves, they're a team that don't get a lot of credit. They're a team that I think are quite good, and they can cause a result, and they can really take it to Liverpool. We know Ruben Neves, how good he is in that midfield, and Raul Jimenez, I think, is a great striker as well. But Liverpool fans, what do you think for this game? I think it's a tough game. I don't think it's a game where Liverpool fans will walk into it and say, hey, we are going to absolutely wipe the carpet against Wolves. I think it's going to be tough. They're going to have to really, really take it to them. And at the end of the day, Liverpool, if they lose against Wolves, mate, then it could be a real, real struggle town. Next up, we've got Palace versus Man United, the game that I've got to focus on, because Crystal Palace, they are a team where they're tough. They're very, very tough. Zaha, we saw his very honest post-match interview last week, because they conceded the goal very late on and just after scoring. And Wilfried Zaha has been on an absolute mission. And I spoke about it on the Ultra Sub podcast the other week. What does Zaha need to really establish himself as that legend at Crystal Palace? Is he going to do that and gain that status just by playing there for a long time and not leaving when people thought he would have left? Or does he really need to win something? Do they need a long FA Cup run? Do they need a season where they maybe break into the top 6? Patrick Vieira has surprised me. I'll wear that. Put my hands up, two words, my bad. Big up, filthy fellas. But I think Crystal Palace are good, and they're a bit of a bogey team. Man United struggle to go to Crystal Palace and get a result. And I think right now, Man United, 4 wins on a row. Martinez and Varane, the best centre-back partnership in the league. I said it, the best centre-back partnership in the league right now. I think we can go there and get a result too. It's so good seeing Marcus Rashford getting on the scoreboard and looking just happy again. It's so good. We all love, United fans all love Rashford. He's come up from the academy. There's always that special place in the heart for those sorts of players, and especially Marcus Rashford, because we know what he does off the field, and he's an unbelievable dude. So good to see him back through the middle. I do want Casemiro to start though. McTominay has played very well. I'll be totally honest. He's played very, very well, and I appreciate the fact that Ten Hag has noticed that and has said, "Well, I'm not just going to drop him because Casemiro is here. He's playing well, so I'll reward that." And that's again the point that I raised with the aspect of depth and all that sort of stuff. It's United for so long haven't had that depth where McTominay performs badly. It's who comes in. You don't feel that threatened. Whereas Casemiro's come in, and all of a sudden McTominay has really stepped up. Luke Shaw will be feeling the same thing. Malacia, Luke Shaw's on the bench. Malacia is doing unbelievable left back. Wan-Bissaka will be thinking the same thing. He wants to go. You know, Diego Dallo has really solidified that right back spot, and I think he's been great. And I don't think he's really an unbelievable player. I think he's got a lot of mistakes in him, but he's been doing really, really well. So this one will be tough. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to take my bias cap off. I'm going to go 1-1 because I think this one could go either way because Palace at home, a very, very great side and a great team defensively. So it'll be an interesting one to see. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap us up for another 1-0 show. Like I said, I hope I can keep on bringing you these videos. It's been a very, very busy time period. Thank you for watching. Again, if you do want to catch me on another channel, go to Ultra Football. I might leave a link in the description down below. You can check it out. The Ultra Football podcast comes out on a Friday. Tell them you came from 1-0 as well. So plenty of exciting stuff. I'm there with another guest, so you can see me interact a bit more with people as well. Plenty of 1-0 FC. Very busy. New clothing drop coming soon, so stay tuned for that. Lots of stuff here happening at 1-0 FC. So let's do it. I'll see you guys next week. Come on, United. 21 is coming. Hush. Dang it. See you guys. Bye.